Does your dog have stinky poo? Well, let's face it, all poo stinks. It's just some poo stinks a lot worse than others. Coming right up, we're going to show you how to eliminate the stink. So, you're sitting there watching television, and all of a sudden you can hear your dog lets out this big fart, and it just clears the room. And that stinky gas that comes out of your dog's back end, it's a symptom of what's going on inside of their gut, all right? What's happening, what's going on with the food that is being processed in their stomach. So let's face it, that stink that comes out of their back end is a direct result of what is going on inside of their stomach. So typically what happens is if you're feeding a kibble, which is a dry dog food, let me show you that, all right? A kibble dry dog food, all right? Then chances are your dog is going to have a much stinkier poo. Not always, but chances are, yes, their poo is going to stink, all right? If you're feeding a raw food, this is raw hamburger, then guess what? You're likely not going to have as stinky a poo, okay? However, if you're on a budget, you can't afford to feed your dog raw, then what I highly recommend is 2 supplements, okay? Number 1 is let's go with the English side, a women's probiotic, okay? It has 10 strains of various forms of probiotic. It's human grade and can be used for humans and animals. I've been using it for 17 years with my dogs, and it works fantastic. So with the probiotics, a couple things to remember is when you give them to your dog, you're going to take the probiotic, you're going to break the capsule open, you're going to sprinkle it all over their food. Now for a human, you would just pop it in your mouth, take it, drink some water with it, consume it that way. For an animal, break it over their food. Same thing with the yucca. You'll sprinkle it in, mix it all in, and do not worry, people. Giving your dog a women's probiotic is not going to make your dog feminine. And as a matter of fact, I take the women's probiotic because they don't make one that's called a man's probiotic. Remember, probiotics always need to be kept in the refrigerator, not the freezer, not on the counter. They are alive. If you buy a probiotic that's on the counter, it's not alive. It doesn't have any valuable energy in it. So make sure it has to be in the fridge. It has to be in a cooler when you buy it. Is that going to eliminate the stinky poo? No, it won't. Okay? It guaranteed it won't. It's going to help. It's going to help building the good bacteria in their stomach. However, if you want to eliminate the stinky poo, the magic ingredient, it's also an anti-inflammatory, is called yucca. Yucca is fantastic for eliminating the stinky poo. You'll mix one of these in with your dog's breakfast, and you'll do this for about 2, maybe 3 days maximum. This is not something you need to keep giving your dog for 7 days out of a week. You'll give your dog this for 2-3 days until the stinky poo is gone. And then what you can also do is if you're going to continue to feed kibble, then I recommend you give 1 yucca capsule. Again, let me just show you what they look like. They are a little brown capsule like so, okay? I recommend that you give your dog 1 yucca capsule every single week with their food. This is going to help to just, if you think of yucca like this, yucca is almost like little, like a little sweeper. It's going to go through and it's just going to sweep your dog's colon out. It's going to sweep all the stinky poo out, and all of a sudden, you're going to go and pick your dog's poo up, and people walking by aren't going to be plugging their nose and going ooh or wincing or anything like that, and neither are you. Okay. One more thing I highly recommend you do is raw beef contains really, really beneficial, powerful enzymes in it, all right, that are excellent for the gut health of your dog. So once a week, give your dog a ½ pound, okay, of raw hamburger, ground up, lean hamburger, mix it in with their food. Contrary to some myths or some people's belief systems, you can mix kibble and raw hamburger together, mix it all up, put your probiotic in there, put your yucca in there, add a little bit of water as well. If you're not putting water in with your dog's kibble, add a little bit of water. Imagine yourself eating dry cereal. It's like, blah, 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 blah. Dry cereal is boring, okay? And your dog, you know what, is also going to be bored with dry cereal or dry kibble. So mix a little bit of water in there. It makes it like a gravy. When you mix in a little bit of this raw hamburger, your dog's going to think, wow, you really, really care for him. One thing I forgot to mention, and that is if your dog continues to have really stinky poo after you've put in the probiotic, after you've given the yucca for several days in a row, there's probably a greater chance than not that the kibble food that you're feeding your dog doesn't agree with their body. It's like a human. If we, as human beings, if we consume milk products, which 90+% of the population can't really process and digest, then we kind of get really bad gas. So chances are you want to look at the ingredients on the dog food, and I would bet that in the majority of cases it might be something like high grains, chicken, things like that. So those are the ingredients that are in a lot of the cheaper kibble dog food, and they tend to cause a lot more inflammation and gas. So you may want to switch your dog over to a lamb. As your dog ages and gets a little bit older, you might want to switch your dog over to a beef or fish base type dog food, or even say a venison, or even some people will even switch their dog over to say a kangaroo. So some options there. So you just have to be open, and you have to be listening with your nose and getting what is going on, and then trying different things. Please take a moment to subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. And if you have any other topics you'd like us to talk about, please take a moment in the comment section to make mention, and we will do our best to bring you those videos every week. Thank you for watching.